Hey lovies, this is Michelle here from Life Matcha Tarot. I hope that you guys are doing great. Welcome. Today is Thursday, and I hope that you guys have been having a great work week and just, rolling with the punches as we get through it, right? Tomorrow's Friday. um, yeah, so I just hope that you guys are doing great. And also, if you're new to the channel, as you guys start to kind of start coming through, I hope that you like what you see here and decide to stick around. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell as well. All those different ways that we can stay connected with each other and you can become a part of our little soul tribe that we're building here. We greatly appreciate the support as well. And for those of you who've already been rocking with your girl, welcome back and thank you for the continued support. You guys are amazing, and I'm so grateful for everything you guys do to, help keep the channel going, help keep me going. As I, slowly but surely build this channel up. So hopefully we'll see some people start popping in soon. It's only been a minute, so I'm not gonna, overthink it. But yeah, hopefully some of my peoples pop in and some new folks as well. And yeah, so we're just gonna kind of go from there. But with all that said, this is a collective message, and I was picking up on a vibe of individuals who have been, as you saw in the title, shrinking yourselves, making yourselves small to fit a mold that you don't fit. And it's time for you to let loose. That's what I'm picking up on. Let loose. Let yourself be seen. Is one of the things I'm picking up on. Another thing I picked up on before I started was an energy of individuals who, especially women, um, who might try to fit ideologies that are put onto them based on society norms and things like that, what is acceptable, what's beautiful, so on and so forth. As a black woman myself, I have not like in a victim mentality way, but like there are a lot of things that are working against me because not everybody likes darker skin. Not everybody likes black women in general. Black women, in fact, are considered as one of the most undesired um, forms of a woman, which is unfortunate because I think we're beautiful. But, I struggled with my appearance for a long time because there are certain things about myself where, even within my own community, are not necessarily deemed as the most beautiful or approachable or acceptable. I'm having a little bit of deja vu as I'm talking about this, so I might have already talked about this at some point in another timeline. But, um, so I am picking up on, maybe just beauty standards and things like that for somebody. Even if it's just one person who ends up resonating with this message. But, the point I was about to say, even about myself, is, again, as a somewhat darker complected woman, a woman in her natural state completely. Like, I don't wear makeup really unless I'm going out. My hair, I looked up and it was 333. I have my hair in its natural state, so on and so forth. Natural body, Um, I always was like looked at in a way as a woman who was like, some people desired me and some people didn't, which is fine. Um, I didn't have like the big butt and all that stuff, like especially like coming up as like, spiting the 2000s, like as a teenager in high school, like, you know, that's like the video vixen era where, you got all these girls with the big butts and like not big like now with the BBLs. That was not a thing yet. But like, just women who were shapely. I wasn't shapely. I was back then. I ain't gonna talk about my weight now. Almost 200 pounds now, but at the time, back in the day, I was like a little mini thing, and I didn't have curves or anything. So it's like, now I get older, and I'm like, damn, a little bit more fuller figured, but I still don't have those same curves and things that some people might like, right? So again, I am picking up on people who might be, struggling with a little bit of how do you appear to other people, just in general, right? And it could be in different ways, right? Not just, your physical appearance, but like just different things, right? I'm getting something like that. Hi, how are you? Mina? I think that's how you say your name. That's a pretty name if that's how you say it. Hold on one second, my lovies. Shake that ass, girl. Get that wet. um, but yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so we're gonna get started. That was some of the things though that were coming up before I even started pulling cards or anything like that. And I think that, yeah, I have my moments. um we have to roll with the punches, right? And one of the best ways to do it is through humor. We have to humor ourselves. We have to, make fun of other people. Make fun of ourselves even a little bit. As long as we're not self-deprecating, I'm good for that. Um, working on that part. But anywho, we're gonna kind of, take a little bit of a dive. Hi, Mama. My cat. Hi, baby. You want to say hi? You've been acting all skittish with me since I came home from work, and now you want to be on camera? My cat is something. My daughter. I love her. My baby. All right, guys. We're going to get started. So, like I said, if you're new to the channel and haven't done so already, welcome. I hope you like what you see here. Decide to stick around and subscribe, all that good stuff. Hit that like button. We're just gonna, see what happens with this reading. We don't really know where it's gonna go, but I definitely had some you know, like almost like a preview before I even started. Like Spirit was like, "Ooh, we might talk about this." So I'm like, "Okay, I guess that's what we're doing now." Before I would just like let Spirit guide me to the cards and then go from there. But like now they give me almost like a little bit of a synopsis of where the reading might go, and then they pick the decks for me, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna rock with it." We're gonna rock with it. All right. So what do we have here? All right. So the first deck we're gonna read from is the Wisdom of the Oracle. I have already cleansed myself in the space, the cards, everything like that. So we're going to kind of tap in and see what Spirit has to say also. It's the Oracle mantra. Spirit, only let positive energy into this reading. Show the collective what they need to see at this time for their highest good. Clearest and most accurate messages, please and thank you. And let's get started. And like I said, I split the deck already. We have Flexible along with Yang. So that's like, that's giving like, hey. So that is giving like a spark. I'm gonna go with that. I'm getting creative spark and maybe being flexible when it comes to some type of creative spark. All right, so let's shuffle. Because like yin and yang, right? The yin is the feminine energy. So that's about like, it's about creation. Like they're both kind of about creation but in different ways. So like the yang is more about like that spark, right? That intensity. Whereas the yin is more about the sense of like nurture, right? How do you nurture this spark that you may have? Does that make sense? Because you have to have a little bit of both, right, to make something go boom. They work together. So I'm getting like a little bit of balance too, maybe. But like I said, we're gonna dive in. All right, so a couple more shuffles. Make sure they're well shuffled for y'all. It was supposed to be thunderstorms, and all of a sudden, like, it got real dark in here, and all of a sudden now the sun's coming out. Interesting. Hey Kai, how are you? Truth be told, you guys are learning something. What is this? Regeneration. I like that. It's kind of giving like a sense of like, especially with like what I was picking up on with the yang energy. It's like, I heard the word catalyst just now. It could have been like the thing that was like the thing to propel you forward. Maybe there was something that you needed to see. Maybe within yourself. Yeah. Understanding what brings peace to yourself. There are certain situations and people that are not going to bring peace. They're going to bring chaos. And you might have had to learn that the hard way. And now you're just kind of like, okay, well, here I am. Do-do-do-do. And Spirit is like, it's time to do some work. Get to work. Tell us more. And again, like that, going back to like what I said way earlier before I even started pulling cards, I am getting this energy of individuals who, again, you shrink yourselves. Let me know if this resonates. But you shrink yourselves to make yourself smaller to fit a mold. And it's like, yeah, no, you're meant to stand out. You're meant to be, I heard the word boisterous. You're meant to be boisterous. Like, you're not meant to just like sit in the corner. Like, no. I just heard nobody leaves baby in the corner. Somebody might be a fan of Dirty Dancing, the movie. Such a great movie. I love that movie. Patrick Swayze was so hot. So dreamy, so hot. So we have To the Sea. So this is definitely giving like nurturing yourself vibes. Being able to, take a moment to just debrief and be in your own space. Journal a little bit. I'm getting journaling for somebody. I'm getting, a spiritual bath. Somebody might want to go to like the spa or something like that. Somebody might want to actually spend time by water. That's been showing up a lot lately, especially because it is summer. Like a lot of us, might resonate with the idea of just, laying on the beach and just, just being like, let the sun hit your skin and just make sure you use your sunscreen. Look. So we had yin and now we had yang and now we have yin. There we go. This is that feminine energy. You notice how even like how I started to talk, right? Like a little softer. Like I didn't even see this card at the time. Like it's definitely like that balance, right? Yes, there is this, this spark and this catalyst of change that's happening. However, they also want you to honor the fact that, this is also a time to kind of step into like your softer side. Even if you're a masculine, right? Like, there is nothing wrong with being able to tap into both sides, and you should. It's about balance. So, fellas, do something nice for yourselves too. Those of you who, identify as a male, like, do something nice for you. Like, go get your car washed and, go, go down to the park or whatever and, just ride around maxing and relaxing. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Go get your hair cut and, get everything all, looking good and feel good about yourself though, not for other people, for you. Like, I'm getting something like that. Yeah. Because, you're doing everything for everybody else, but that shit ain't for you. Do something that is meant for you. As this card was to like slide out of my hand. Like, you've been doing stuff for everybody else. Trying to look good for another person. Like, no. Do things for yourself. Yes. We have soulmates. Be your own goddamn soulmate. Kai just said something about that 5 energy, right? We got 41 in here, so more 5s, right? It's like, what are you doing for yourself? It's not about everybody else and their thoughts of who you are, who you should be, right? Not living for other people anymore. Fuck that. And I think that's why I was like picking up on like if you were to like, go back in the beginning of this, wasn't even a reading yet. It was just in general, like I was picking up on this energy of like people making themselves small to fit a mold. And I was also picking up on like, fitting a certain like, characteristic and type and stuff like that for other people. Whatever that means. Like it could be in the sense of physically, it could be just like, I'm getting like people pleasers. We can't, I'm going to say we, because I resonate with that. We can't be people pleasers. No more of that. Fuck that shit. Let's get a couple more from your spirit. Yeah, it's time to be your fullest, most authentic self. What we got? Yeah, you've been doing things by the book. way too fucking long. Got 2 cards that came out, by the way. By the book, too long. No, that doesn't work for you anymore. Following everybody else's footsteps and doing everything the way that, you're told that you're supposed to do, culturally speaking, or whatever, what society says is the standard. Like, fuck that. Take that leap of faith and go towards what it is that you want to do for yourself. Whatever that is, come to the edge. And be comfortable within yourself while you do it. That's what I'm picking up on. You've been paying attention to everybody else's opinions and shit like that, observer. How about what you want? Yeah, be flexible. Flexible is there again. Yeah, clean it up. Clean up your way of thinking is what I'm picking up on. The things that you've been, taught, right? You've been doing things by the book, society standards and all this bullshit. No, fuck that. Excuse me. What are you doing to, please yourself in the sense of the things that match up to your standards? What are those standards? 1616 when I looked up, like, what are your standards for yourself? It's not about everybody else anymore. One more from here, Spirit. Fuck that. And I picked up on really, really, really heavy energy when it came to maybe Black women might really resonate with this reading. And not to say that other people are not meant to or whatever, but there's something very, very specific about Black women, and I think that that energy will show up throughout this reading, and I'm just going to have to put that out there. If you don't want to hear those kind of things, that's on you. You could easily exit stage left. That's fine. Don't care. But there are messages that are meant for a lot of different people, but there's something in particular when it comes to Black women that is going to show up throughout this reading, because I felt it even before I did anything. Hey, Concrete Rose, how are you? Yeah. I had mentioned before I pulled any cards or anything, I was talking about like Black women in particular who might struggle with, there are these expectations that are put on to us. And I have to say this, you guys, if you don't resonate, it's fine. But this part of this the message is for a specific group, and that is okay. It's up to you if you want to stick around for that part. But as Black women, one of the things, and I think it was because I saw something that was like really like interesting before I came on here, like a little bit before, like probably like about 45 minutes before I came on, and I was like, ooh, something about that message right there. What the hell? And I let it rock. Like I wasn't even trying to like overthink it or anything, but then like it poured over into when I was like cleansing and stuff, and I'm like, there's something important about this message, and I gotta make sure I say it. And I think that's why the message is coming down to this whole like, don't minimize yourself, like don't shrink yourself, allow yourself to be seen. So a lot of us, as Black women, I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna go out there, we have been conditioned to be in a certain image for certain people, and even within our own culture we're not accepted. We have the Black men who say things like, oh, I only like women who are natural. But guess what, a lot of times they only want the women who are natural, who have quote unquote good hair, or who are exotic looking and things like that. Don't let you have too many African looking features. They're like, yep, nope. Make that make sense. You don't really want 1919 when I say that. Like, you don't really want a Black woman. You want a build a whole kind of shit. You want a woman who has a specific complexion. You want a woman who has a certain type of hair type. Certain assets in other areas, right? But you don't want a Black woman who is naturally herself and not doing anything to augment how she looks. I mean, technically we augment how we look, if you really like it technical. Even when we groom ourselves, right? That's technically a sense of augmenting. But like, what I mean is this. If I were to just pick out my fro no makeup or anything on, and go out, do I get hit on? I do. But the point of the matter is, if I had a darker complexion, and mind you, I'm not light skinned. I'm like right in the middle. If I were darker and had more African looking features, I guarantee you I wouldn't get the same approaches that I get. People love when I pick out my hair. They're like, "Oh my God, your hair is so beautiful." Blah, blah. I'm like, that's interesting. Because when I had my hair long and relaxed, y'all were the same motherfuckers who said, "Oh, I don't like your hair like that." When I started my locks, many, 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 many years ago, they didn't like that either. They're like, "What are you doing to your hair?" But when my hair was down to my ass, however, they loved that. When it was long and straight, they loved that too. So it's very, very funny to me because I'm like, you know, as black women, not to say that this whole reading is gonna be about black women. This is a message that needs to be heard though and said. So if it's not your message, it's not your message. Um, but for those of us who resonate with this, yep, see, I saw people left. That's perfectly fine. Don't care. The ones who are meant to stay are meant to stay and hear this message. So, it's like, even same thing like down to like BBLs. I remember when I was in high school, right? That's finally when like being like a little bit curvy was all of a sudden in. Like they wanted, like black men wanted women who had the big butts and the tiny little waists and nice titties. They didn't have to be big titties, but just nice, right? Pretty face, preferably light skinned, and long straight hair, or at least curly. I didn't fit any of those molds at all. None of them. I was skinny. That was about it. I didn't have nothing going on. Back then, I was like 100 pounds. In high school, yeah, I was pretty skinny. It's like literally like 100 pounds, 5'7", 100 pounds. Very thin. I think I got up to 105 in high school. Point being, though, I always had like my little light skinned friends who had big butts and all that stuff and boobs. The only thing I always had was boobs. And it's just always interesting when I look back and I'm like, damn, how times have changed. I got one of my sisters in the building. Check my girl out right here. We got the Phoenix Priestess here. Check her out, guys. Please subscribe. She is amazing. That is my soully and my sister. Amazing, amazing person, right? Like I am so grateful. I say it every time. Love her. Absolutely love her. Check her out. So yeah, like I said, you know, it's one of those things, it's very nuanced, right? It's going to hit everybody a little bit different. I think we all have different things that we look at ourselves and we're like, I don't like this, I don't like that. But fuck what everybody thinks. This isn't about them, it's about you. So whether it's a cultural thing, like the example I just used as a black woman, or just in general in society, right? Like people expect me to be like this ghetto hood rat type of person because of where I grew up and stuff. When I went to Sacred Heart University here in Fairfield, well, I live in Bridgeport, but like in Fairfield, Connecticut. When I went there, these are people who literally like they're from like Jersey Shore and stuff, rich people. And I go there and they're like, I'm well spoken. I really hate when people say that. It actually really bothers me. Articulate and all this bullshit. But that's what I heard that my whole life since I was little. And they're like, oh wow, you're so articulate. I would have never thought you were from Bridgeport. And I'm like, there's intelligent people and smart people. Exactly. I hate backhanded compliments. Can't stand it. And I always told my son, like, don't even like allow people to talk to you like that. And don't let them touch your fucking hair. Because he has an afro too. And I'm just like, don't let them touch your hair. So that's a whole nother conversation. But yes, backhanded compliments. Because my son, his dad and we always talk to him about that. Like, like, I am from the hood. Okay? The hood. My project doesn't need, or projects, because I grew up in two different ones, don't even existing. That's how bad it was. They had to tear the shit down. They're like, yep, nope. Too many people dying here. We gotta just get rid of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're gonna put a band-aid over it. You know what I mean? That's what they did. Tore down the shit as if that's gonna help Bridgeport. Now just got all the other people moving to other fucking places and fucking those places up. But that's a whole different conversation too. Very systemic. But yeah. And then my son's father, however, he grew up, in the suburbs. He's also black. And, my son is blackity black, 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 black. His hair looked just like mine. He's just light skinned. He looks just like me. He's just light skinned. And it's just funny because, like, super intelligent kid, went to Loxa in LA. He dated Halle Berry's daughter. I'm not joking. Like, this is not a joke. This is real shit. My son is a multi-instrumentalist. Like, he is so talented, and he got into that school, a conservatory school, based off of his talent, not who he knew or anything like that. He had to actually do more than one round of applications and things like that to get in there, and interviews and stuff, and he got in. And he attended for 2 years, and then we pulled him out because he wasn't doing what he needed to do. So that last year he was just attending school in LA. But the point I'm making here is, like, and this is going back to, like, expectations, right, that are bestowed upon us. Like, people expect certain things from certain types of people because of what is fed into them. Don't let the expectations of other people dictate who you are and how you feel about yourself. Don't let that happen. Who you are is who you are. Don't shrink yourself. You're fucking amazing, and you don't need anybody, like, to sit there and try to tell you you're different in a negative way. Like, like, oh, you're so different from those people. Like, that's not a compliment. Sorry. Like, what do you mean those people? That's part of who I am. Like, you know what I mean? And that's when I turn up on people. You know what I mean? Oh, you can't be from Bridgeport. Like I said, I live in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you look up Bridgeport, Connecticut, they even made a joke about it on Family Guy. That shit's hilarious. You can look it up on YouTube. It's pretty funny. Look up Bridgeport, Connecticut, Family Guy. And that scene is hysterical every time. But the point I'm making is this. It's like, there are these things that, are put onto us, expectations and things like that. Society puts it on us, our own culture, so on and so forth. Why are we letting other people tell us who we are and what we should do? Fuck that shit. We have the fates here. You are fated to be a fucking amazing ass person. Let's go with that. Let's get that ball rolling. Like, who told you that you're not meant to be? You popping, as my brother is making some popcorn. You popping, baby. You popping. You're poised, right? But don't get it twisted, though. And the thing is, you've learned your lesson. You got round and round, but it's in the reverse. It's probably one of the only cards in this deck in the reverse, because everything else is coming up in the upright. Like, you guys, you've learned your lesson. You're not going to keep on going backwards. Okay? Ooh, was it a live, or is it something that you were, like, able to post? Because I hate TikTok for that. Like, you can't, like, rewatch a live, unfortunately, on there. Milk and honey, yes, baby. Milk and honey, yes. I gotta go check that out, girl. I don't be on TikTok like that, but every once in a while I try to pop in there. But yes, milk and honey is like, you guys, like, there are so many things that are about to start coming towards you, but it's just also a matter of, again, like, recognizing who the fuck you are in the process. Because again, when you're shrinking yourself and you're making yourself small for everybody else, what are you getting out of that? Nothing. Other than people pleasing. Fuck that shit. We're not doing that anymore. I'm gonna say we. Recognize who you are, the beauty of yourself. And I say beauty in not just the physical sense, but in general. Like, focus on that. Hone in on that. Like, who are you? What makes you amazing? What makes you tick? Not what society and the world and bullshit, culture, and all that. Like, no, fuck that. Religion, all that. No. Let's strip ourselves down to who we are, bare fucking naked, and say, who am I? What makes me happy? As long as you're not hurting other people in the process and yourself. Focus on that. That's the focus right now. Because I think too many of us have done things for everybody else for too long. Where it's like, oh, I want to make sure I make my family proud. I want to, oh, culturally speaking, this is something that's so frowned upon. Oh, in my culture, in my religion, oh, I shouldn't do this. It's like, okay, but at the same time, is it even anything that, one, makes sense? Because half the time, when you actually do your research on half the shit that we're told, doesn't fucking make any sense anyway. That's a whole nother conversation, especially when it comes to religion. Again, another conversation. Right, one. And then two, it's like, okay, well, again, as long as I'm not hurting anybody in the process, what's the problem? Fuck that. High Priestess of Air here. Come on now. You know what I mean? Message. Did you receive that message? Are you getting it? Do you see the point now? Because it's like, thank you. Yeah, here it is again. High Priestess of Air. So I'm getting you guys are very intuitive, one. And two, you might have air in your chart. I know somebody who definitely does. Meditation is here. Yeah. Step into yourself. Your higher self at that. Playful. Have fun. Love you. Let's get like food from here, Spirit. For those of you who are resonating with this message so far, I know it's a little bit wonky. I know this one's a little bit different. Usually I'm like kind of like, I get kind of in there, but this one is a little bit different. This one's like a slow burn. So for those of you who have been appreciating where this is headed and getting the message, like, I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Rigid, yeah, you can't be rigid. That rigidity keeps you fucking stuck, man. Like, you can't do that no more. Yeah, and then there's a crow here. Like, that shit's dead, bro. It's giving death and rebirth vibes on top of that. Cycles on the bottom, yeah. There's something that's closing out. Yeah, you've been obedient. That's what's closing out. You've been obedient. Wow. Holy crap. Too long. It's time to... Spirit, oh my god, you just got fucking goosebumps, man. It's about being your individual self. Whew. I better not start crying on this fucking reading, because it's not even like it's depressing or anything, but goddamn. When it gets like this gets me every time, because it's like, yo. And there's a reason why I got drawn to this deck, because it was like actually hidden behind another fucking deck. And I'm like, I feel like there's another deck over here. Like, they're all like, on the shelf or whatever. And I'm like, there's something, like, there's a reason why I'm stuck here. Like, I can't seem to figure out where this other deck is that I'm supposed to pull from. And then I moved one deck over to find this one. I know I'm always crying. Don't make fun of me. I love you. I am really always crying. God damn. Like, you would think that I had a whole bunch of freaking water in my damn chart. Literally one placement. I'm a damn Sagittarius and I don't act like one. That, and I have a whole bunch of air in my chart too. I'm supposed to be cold and stoic and just have mad fun. Nope. Crying all goddamn time. What the hell is this? You be seeing dead people in no time. Exactly. Well, dun, 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 dun. We got the Ancestor deck and we got the messages of closure. You're an asshole. I love you. You bitch. No, I'm just joking. My what you bitch over here, guys. Check her out. This is all a matter of love, guys. This is all. I love my girl. Check out the Phoenix Priestess. Where you, even with her, like, that's not her punchline, but like, you don't know what you're gonna get with her either, because she gonna either be cussing you out or speaking life into you. But either way, it all comes back full circle, and you're gonna be like, damn, that girl good. That girl good. You know what I mean? So it's gonna hit you like that. Somebody might like the movie, whatchamacallit, Coming to America. That's her. That boy good. That girl good. And then we got another one. And another one. We got the She Radio over here. Check my girl out. Check her out. Check out that page as well, or channel, I should say, as well as her Intuitive Interactions channel as well. Says telling you, these are individuals that I absolutely love and adore, and you're gonna love them too. Just saying. Wait, what we got? Yeah, again, obedience. Yeah, you've been obedient. You've been rigid for too fucking long, guys. Like, no, you can't keep shrinking yourselves. Cycles is here again. Like, look how many cards are in this deck. The the ones that keep on popping up. Yeah, you're fragmented, right? You feel broken up. You feel like you're pulled into too many fucking places, and it's like, why? Because you're not being your authentic self. That's why. You have a choice to make. And this person here, first off, there's a crow in the background. There's a moon in the background, which is about like your intuition. It's about your fears, your anxieties. That crow represents death and rebirth, and we talked about that a second ago. And then you have these angel wings, black and white, right? It's definitely giving, it's about blending it all together. And we were talking about that sense of balance earlier when we were talking about the yin and the yang, putting it all together. You can't make this up even if you wanted to. One more thing here, Spirit. Ooh, child. I ain't playing with y'all. I love this deck, by the way. For those of you who are readers or would like to get into reading and stuff like that, we have the one I'm reading from right now is the Wisdom of the House of Night. It's a really good one. I got it off of Amazon. I'll leave it there for a second if you need to like screenshot that. But it's a really good deck. I really like these, and it does have a guidebook. But I usually read intuitively. But every once in a while I'll pull from or read from the book too. But it's a really good deck. That will be so cool. I love that idea. Yes, I'm all for that. A sip and paint with the sister circle. Yes, I would love to do something like that with y'all because like, we obviously we're all like kind of scattered, right? We're in different places, but and this could be a message even for other people. If there are people who are like kind of far from you, a little bit separate from the overall message that we have going, but if there are people who you've been wanting to spend time with, people who you feel like are part of like your soul tribe, your soul family, and they're too far from you, figure out a way, make it work. I just heard make it work. Some of you guys might have watched what was that show? What Not to Wear. No. It wasn't that one. It was fuck. It was Heidi Klum's show with the designers. What was that show? But the guy on there, he would be like, make it work. God, I can't remember the name of the show. Project Runway, but I can't remember the guy who would say that, make it work. And he would be like kind of the one like going around watching like what they were doing, like, oh, okay, I see your creation, whatever. And he would like go to each person, give them a little bit of advice or whatever. Yeah, it was one of those kind of things. All right, let's get one more from here, please, Spirit. Ooh, the makeup show was another one. Yeah, they had like a few of those kind of shows, like because they had like Project Runway. They had that show too, like with the makeup artists and stuff. I love those shows. I love those shows. They're really fun to watch. I don't have that type of talent. If I were to show you guys my little art project that I felt kind of proud of, and I'm looking at it now, I'm like, I'll be like, that's not real art, but it's for first graders. Cycles is here officially on the spread. Yeah, we're closing it out, man. This sense of rigidity and obedience to things that are not allowing us to be obedient to ourselves. As my son just went and posted something on Instagram. Damn, focus, baby. As my girl just said, she has a vision. Yes, focus. Somebody might have some Sagittarius in their chart. What is this? I definitely did not turn on. I guess my leg must have rubbed against my watch, my Fitbit. Said I was working out, bitch. I ain't working out. I need to, but I ain't working out. What was that? Shit. Haven't worked out in a long time. But anyway. But yeah, it's definitely like this the Sagittarius energy here too. Yeah, focus, man. Aim and fire is what I just heard. Aim and fire. Yes. And will there be differences? Yes. Look, got the black cat and the white cat. It's definitely like this like opposing energy, and it's like that's the thing that makes it complicated. The moon, little black cat there. I just heard Janet Jackson. Black cat, mine by short days and long nights. You better watch your step, not afraid to die. Heartbeat real strong, but not long. So you better watch your step, or you're gonna die. You're so together, boy, but just at a glance. Sorry, y'all know me. Once I get the music going in my head. All right, so. And ironically, we're talking about moon energy and all that, and then the back of these cards, moons. So, we were talking about that sense of great intuition, right? So, the High Priestess here on the bottom of the deck, top, Page of Wands, before we even do anything, right? We didn't even shuffle yet. And the Death card, Death and Rebirth. We were talking about that too. So, wow, look at that. For some confirmations kind of tying into what we were already talking about. All right, so we're going to keep this a little bit simple. I think we could go with, wait, do I want to, let me ask. Spirit, what do you guys want me to do? Shuffle. Let's see what they tell me to do here. They're telling me that a 3-card spread will suffice. If clarifiers are necessary, then we'll go with it. But yeah, they're like, yeah, you don't need to go doing 5-6 card spreads. Like, no. They're basically saying you guys know exactly what this is about, and what you are being called to do is just a matter of doing it. Is what I'm getting. All right, so we got the King of Swords, right? Yeah, we exactly. You see the truth. You see the truth. Yeah. Just don't let your emotions get the best of you. Easier said than done. And that's why, this is why we're seeing this energy. Yeah. Close it out, the world. You can't make it up even if you wanted to. Wow. Alright. That's before we even really did anything. Okay. Let's get started. Yeah. Let's go with recent past for the collective. Too many. But, oh, okay. We'll go with it. They came out challenging because the only 2 cards actually, make sure nothing else flipped in the deck. Nope. It was just these. And they came out challenging. So we have, okay. As the past energy, we have the 2 of Cups. And we also have the 2 of Wands. They came out together. And it is definitely giving like you had to make a really hard choice when it came to a partnership. And as we're talking about like this, and we talked about it earlier in the reading, it's like, okay, well, there has been an energy of, what other people think about you, right? For some of you, it could have been a romantic partnership. Trying to, appease that person to, be the ideal partner and all this bullshit. Yeah, but they were playing a lot of mind games too. We have 5 of Swords. I'm also kind of getting, you might have had to like kind of chuck up the deuces a little bit and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm good. You had to surrender and accept defeat. Accept things for what it was. Yeah. Queen of Pentacles is here on the top. You're just trying to focus on you. Whoa. This doesn't happen often. Alright, middle of the deck, King of Pentacles. Top of the deck, Queen of Pentacles. So it's a match. But if you look, when I hold it up like this, they're looking in 2 different directions. So what it's giving me is this. you guys, while you might have been a possible real match, possibly we did see a soulmate card show up earlier, way early in the reading. This is a person who you either were meant to meet and have this this whole thing going on, but on the flip side, there's just something about you guys that is opposing. Your backs are always like against each other. One person might be really giving while the other one is selfish, is what I'm getting. Mm. Yeah, the way that they came out this particular time, like that's how it was, like for sure. They were like, because I've seen them when they actually do face each other. It just depends on which one comes out first. But the way that they came out this time, like they were completely opposing each other. Yeah. Of course, like, because I was able to get back to it. That doesn't happen often either. Yeah, see, this is a person who's very flighty. It's given like I heard wandering eye. This is somebody, yeah, like they hold on or had held on to a lot of things that kept them in a flighty ass energy. Possibly their dick. They, they wanted to have options. I'm just looking at the cards behind it, yeah. And the thing is, like all those options led, and that's the truth. All those options and stuff led to nothing but conflict. And now here you are distancing yourself from them because of the bullshit that they did. That's what we're getting so far. Yeah, so that's what we're getting so far. All right, let's see. I did see the Queen of Wands try to come out. What's the current energy? What is the current energy? Slow and steady with this Knight of Pentacles. Taking your time. Right? Not focusing too much on the past. Taking your time to just focus on you. Where are you headed? Right? Rebuilding a sense of confidence in yourself. Judgment on the top. You're waking up and you're realizing, okay, you know what? I've put myself I've made myself so available for other people. I've immersed myself into these other situations and other, people so much. I have to really fucking realize, yo, I'm the shit. I'm the shit. Like, why am I worried about, like, get that confidence up, guys. Like, why am I worried about what other people have to say about me? Why? For what? For why? What are you saying about yourself? That's the real ticket, right? And we just were talking about that last night, right? That as my girl just like typed in there, like, that your glow up is about to be like making people sick. Like, yes, exactly. Like that glow up is about to be crazy when you're, doing the damn thing, shining from within, and that's gonna look different for everybody. It ain't about, being a size 0, no bullshit like no. Like it's about like, what are you doing to make yourself feel good? And thus you look good and everybody gonna see it and they feel it, right? That energy gonna be just coming off of you. You're gonna be like, damn. You're gonna be looking at yourself like, damn, I'm a bad motherfucker. Like, like, and again, not even about, physically, just in general, like, your money looking right. You know what I mean? Like your career is, doing well. You actually just feel good. You're healthy. Things like that. Like that is the real thing. That's the real deal Holyfield right there. We're not talking about, aesthetics. We're talking about that might come into play, but like, nah, we're not even talking about that. I saw 49 when I looked up and I started talking about that. What is that? 13. That number 13, baby. Death and rebirth. And we talked about it earlier. Like, I'm telling you, when you guys allow yourself to just be you and be authentic, live in your truest, most highest self, that's when you're gonna start to see things happen. And the thing is, like, yes, it is a process. It does not happen overnight with that Knight of Pentacles, right? No pun intended, right? It's like it takes time, but when you start to see those changes happening, oh man, people see it too. Other people will see it. Tell us more. What is the likely outcome for the collective? What is the collective message? It's closing message here. What do they need to know? From the tarot, that is. We have some other decks we're going to look at too. But we're not going to go too crazy. All right. So we have Three of Pentacles here. We have Seven of Wands on the bottom. Knight of Cups. And Queen. Baby. Alright, so this is what I'm getting. There might be a person, is giving a little bit of like a love vibe. I am picking up on a possible love vibe. There might be somebody who will resonate with this message where there's a person from the past who had you in a third-party connection. They might try to come back around, and you're going to have to stand your ground with the Seven of Wands here. And you're going to have to be very, very, like, fuck you, basically. You're going to have to just be, like, standing in your sense of power with this Queen of Wands. You know, and I definitely was picking up on possible fire sign energy, maybe even Sagittarius. And then we have this Knight of Cups on the top. So this is given like somebody's gonna come in with a love offer, right? And you're gonna have to be able to use your discernment about who this person is. You might even have a choice. There could be more than one offer coming towards you. You know, you're glowing, you're looking sexy, and they're like, damn, I want the collective. What's up with that? And it's like you might even be the one to have a choice. Let's learn more about this Three of Pentacles. But yeah, the more, you know, confidence that you exude and show, oh man, people pick up on that. They will see, and they're gonna be like, you know, some people might try to spin the block, or you might get a whole new offer. Might be both. And you might have to be able to be the one to say, oh shit. All right, we got two cards that came out together. We have the Nine of Cups, which is about your wish fulfillment. I like that. Hell yeah. And the Chariot. Moving on, baby. So that, yeah, it kind of goes back to what I was picking up on mostly. Like, you guys are moving on past people who had you in, like, third-party connections and shit. Like, no, fuck that. Yeah, because the thing is this. They're probably coming back in a flighty energy, which I mentioned earlier. You know, what are their intentions? What do they really want? You already walked away from that. Eight of Cups. Like, you know exactly how this person operates and how they move. You're like, fuck you. And again, what's out again? Seven of fucking Wands. So yeah, you know who this person is. Any last messages from the Tarot Spirit? Yeah, you know exactly who this is. You can't be allowing these kind of people into your space and into your energy. What the fuck? Yep, because intuitively, you know. My girl just said, be selective. Own your power. Exactly. Be on that High Priestess energy. You know exactly what this is. And it's going to be up to you in terms of being selective, right? How do you expend your energy? Six of Pentacles. Who are you giving into? What connections are you giving into? And that's the motherfucking truth. Ace of Swords. Man, listen, Spirit ain't playing with y'all. And it might take a little bit of, you know, we have the Strength card here. It might take some courage. It might take a little bit of taming your wild desires. Like, okay, this is what I'm picking up on. I'm just called spade a spade here for somebody who might resonate with this reading so far. I'm getting that you had, especially that particular part of the reading, there could be a person from the past who, you know that you vibe with them. You know that, like, for instance, like the sex is good and stuff. Like there's like that fiery energy and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know they're no good for you. They're flighty. They're in and out. They come and go when they please, type shit. And you have to be the one to be able to own your power and say, no, I'm good on that. But you know, you're gonna have to kind of, tame that fire, that flame on your own, because it's like, that could be the thing that kind of draws y'all together, or you to them or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you can't. You got to know when to kind of hang that up, because guess what? This is somebody who causes burdens in your life, and it's a heavy burden. They are not somebody who you're meant to have. Yeah, they want a second chance. This was technically in the reverse on the top of the deck. Like, they want, another chance. And it's like, no, this is a person who's a burden to you. It's in the middle of the deck here. Yeah. Power struggle. Like, no. Sorry, but no, as my student says. He's funny. Your card is hilarious. But yeah, it's like, yeah, no, I'm good. Why play that game? You know what I mean? Like, for what? For why? It's all about, understanding, what people's, motives and stuff are. And the whole purpose of this reading is just, being able to recognize and acknowledge, your worth in the process of all of this. No more making yourself, out to be less than what you actually are. When you stand in your power and you're like, yep, no thank you, you own that shit, nobody can come in and fuck that up. Unless you allow them to. Yeah. Agreement is on the bottom of the deck. So like, I'm kind of getting like, some of this could be like soul contracts and things like that. Or it could even be like a sense of, bygones being bygones, and being able to call a spade. I said this earlier, like literally a few minutes ago, call a spade a spade. Not everybody's meant to be in your life for the long haul, right? Being able to recognize who's who and what's what. How do people move, right? This doesn't have to be literal relocation. It could just be, I'm moving in a different direction in my life, and that person's not meant to move along this path and journey with me. And you might fear that change, because it could be people or situations that you were so used to, and it's like, oh damn, like, how do I function without them? But you gotta do what you gotta do for yourself. Let's get like 2 cards from here, because we have other decks that I wanted to pull from as well, before we close out. So let's get like 2. I don't have to go too crazy. They gave me exactly 2 cards. Wow. All right, so the cards that came out, we have the Lovers and Celebration. Celebration is in the reverse, so it's kind of giving like 3 of Cups in the reverse type of vibes. But the Lovers, let's just see what Spirit has to say. I'm gonna actually read these cards, because usually, or sometimes I read them, sometimes I read intuitively. This time I feel the need to read. It says, love is offered as a gift, but it is the choice to embrace that is what gives it power. When you choose to open your heart to love, you unlock a deeper sense of meaning in even the smallest moments. And it came out along with Celebration. So it's giving like, might have, chose the wrong part. A celebration is in order for all that you've endured and all that you've become. Let joy rise in your heart. You deserve to be happy. It came out in the reverse, or this came out in the reverse for a reason. What I'm getting is, like, if this was like in the sense of, let's say if this was like tarot instead of oracle, it would have been the equivalent of the 3 of Cups in the reverse along with the Lovers, which would be saying, oh, you thought that you had a partnership with somebody who was like supposed to be a stand-up person, and they were not. and now it's ended. The party is over. And it's like, yeah, fuck this person. Yeah. Misunderstanding on the bottom of the deck. Like, you know, it's given like, you know, you thought you understood the assignment and it kind of went rogue. Good weather in the reverse. Top of the deck. Bad weather. Like, you went through some storms, right? It's given like tower moments and shit like that. A lot of unexpected change. Yeah, relocation is here again. And you're moving away from this. We live and we learn. You know, don't beat yourself up about this. This is not, you know, spirit beating you up or anything like that. This is just spirit's way of saying, hey, let's just remind you that you're bigger and better than this, and you deserve somebody who's going to treat you right. You deserve people in your life who are going to, you know, match where you are, be on your level. Because not everybody's where you are, and not everybody's about to come on this part of the journey. So just keep that as a mental note. Is what I'm picking up on. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. As you're leveling up, there are people who are now meant to come with you on this part of the path in the journey. You know, as you're learning, like, who you are. You know, my girl just was talking about a glow up. Yeah, literally the same energy. Like, there's this glow up energy. Divine intervention. Hi, China. How are you? Yeah, things that, you know, seem like the, you know, it was all effed up, and you're like, what the hell is going on here? And then you start to realize, oh wow, it's lighting up a new path for me. Interesting. You know what I mean? It's like you don't realize it sometimes. Yeah, you get that revelation. Thank you, Spirit. You get that, like, that revelation, like, okay, it makes more sense. And ironically, the project I'm doing with my kids tomorrow, my students, is a lighthouse. That's funny. Yeah, there's a lighthouse here. So it's like, you know, lighten that path, right? Giving you that sense of clarity, yeah, after a misunderstanding. You know, there could have been things that happened, you know, where you thought things were supposed to be one way and they were meant to be another. And it didn't make sense in the context. Yeah, you're recognizing, you know. And the big thing you're recognizing now is how important self love is. Just saying. All right, let's do some shuffles. And then I'm gonna pull like just two from here. And I'm gonna pull like 2 to 3 cards from the last decks, and that'll be it. The last decks I'm pulling from, which is only 2 more decks, are the ones where I felt drawn to, because I was kind of torn between like this energy of people who just need like that reassurance about themselves right now. Like, stop dimming your light. You need to be seen. Allow yourself to be your fullest, most authentic self. No more, you know, hiding behind the scenes and shit like that. You are meant to be who you really truly are. And that is a beautiful thing. So let your light shine. Let it shine bright within, from within. That's what I'm picking up on. Yeah. You've lived beyond, or behind the shadows too long. Yeah. Look, recognition is here again. Top of the deck, what we got? Come on now, Spirit. Authentic self-expression. You can't make it up. They're like, look, you need to recognize who you are. Yeah. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who is the baddest motherfucker of them all? You better remember who the hell you are and recognize that shit. Man, listen. This is all about just bigging you up. This reading, that's what this is about. Bigging you up and remembering who the fuck you are. And if you don't know, now you know. That's what this whole reading is about, and I love it because, like, we all need that sense of reassurance sometimes, right? You know, even the most confident people need it from time to time. Shit, even Beyonce has said, I don't always feel confident in myself. I don't always feel beautiful. You know what I mean? She literally made a song called Flaws and All, and that was before her shit with Jay-Z when he cheated on her and shit like that. The whole Lemonade album is about that shit. So it's like, come on now. If Beyonce felt like that, you don't think the rest of us feel like that too? Shit. Come on. Come on with it now. We have Earth shifts here. It says, you are very connected to Mother Earth, and as such, you experience all that she does. This is definitely giving like a go with the flow of life, where you're guided, right? Be more in tune with Earth. You know, some of you guys might benefit from the idea of getting more rooted and grounded at this time. And there was a big message about that on last night's reading. So you might want to go check that out. Some of the stuff we're seeing in this reading actually does piggyback a little bit. So you might resonate with that reading as well. But yeah, see? Some of you guys also might be getting ready to go through a career transition and you're just kind of scared. We do have career transition here on the bottom, and it says your soul is yearning for a career aligned with passion and purpose. So, you know, some of you guys might be struggling with that a little bit. Universal Bank is here, and it says everything you need to thrive is already here, but you have to recognize that within yourself. You have the gifts, you have the talent, you have the grit, you have the grace, you have all of it. Like, you are the shit. The real deal, Holyfield. Don't let anybody fucking tell you different. And we have karma here in the middle of the deck. You may be involved in a situation that requires justice or fairness. Those scales are balancing, baby. One more from here, please. Those scales are balancing, and it's like, you know, Spirit just is saying, like, hey, you know, we're trying to guide you, we're nudging you, we want you to see, you know, these gifts and talents and stuff within yourself, but you have to allow us to show you. You have to feel it. Feel it to believe it, is what I just heard. Feel it to believe it. Because if you don't feel it about yourself, then, I mean, how can you, you know, expect anybody else to see it within you, right? When you do an interview, right, you have to be confident. You know, you go in there dressed to the, you know, not to the nines per se, but, you know, dressed to impress, right? You know, get out of your fucking head. We already talked about the automatic negative thoughts. So that self-talk is important. But I hope that you're waking up and realizing that you guys are a lot more worthy than you think you are. You are no longer letting people dictate and run your life for you. Yeah, exactly. And we talked about that way early in the reading. People who, you know, might have been shrinking themselves for other people. Like, oh, what do other people tell me I'm supposed to do? Fuck that. Wake up. You know? Some of you might have been seeing a lot of angel numbers lately. Repetitive numbers. It says, pay attention to the signs. Your angels are trying to deliver a message. So pay attention to all those like angel numbers and stuff around you. We have inner child. So, you know, your inner child might be calling to you. You are currently healing old emotional wounds. So that lack of confidence and stuff that you might feel might stem very far back for some. And yeah, because you've been seeking approval from other fucking people. You can't make this shit up even if you wanted to. I'm just saying. Choose to approve yourself and others will too. And I said that a little while ago. The way that you feel about yourself and how you put yourself out there, guess what? The other people around you are going to also see that. And that's how they treat you. If you know that you come into a room and you demand that attention from other people, like in a positive way, like people look and they're like, damn, who's that? And there's something about your aura when you walk into a room. Understand how powerful your presence is. Just saying. That's what Spirit wants you all to know. And I'm not blowing smoke. Alright, so we're going to read from the Ancestor deck. We're going to get like maybe 3 cards from here, and we're going to get some messages of closure, and that'll be the end of the reading. Because like I said, I was picking up on all this energy of, you know, rebuilding confidence and stuff like that, not diminishing your light and things like that. But then I was also picking up on messages from ancestors. So I kind of combined them together in this reading, which is kind of interesting, but we're going to roll with it and rock with it. Hey, Blessings, what's up, girl? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Love you, girl. One of the best moderators around, if not the best. Greatly appreciate you, my love. So I split the deck. We have Medicine Guardian. Be open to healing information along with Mirror Guardian. Take time to reflect. Take time to reflect when you're working on this healing process. They're trying to, you know, your ancestors and your guides are trying to say, hey, this is what you need to be working on right now. Are you listening now? Are you listening? Alright, so we're going to get like 2 from here, like I said before. 2 to 3. No more than 3. Unless Spirit causes to do otherwise. But yeah, I'm definitely picking up on probably 2. Maybe 3. Couple more shuffles, Spirit. Thank you. right? The moon, and we have that energy of the moon multiple times throughout this reading. Take note of intuitive messages. You guys are very intuitive. You guys probably know a lot of the things that it is that you're meant to know at this time. Stargazer, set your sights higher. It's giving like bird's eye view, you know, looking at things from a different perspective. Direction guardian, choose your path. And you might be having a hard time with choosing the path. But that's why you're here. You know, you got led to this message for a reason, because intuitively you felt like you were drawn to it. Let's get like 2 to 3 cards from here, Spirit. Thank you. Officially on the spread. Stargazer. Set your sights higher. Sometimes, you know, when we're in the moment, in the situations that we're in, we don't see things, you know, the way that we're really supposed to, because we're just so focused, hyper focused on certain parts of what we're feeling and dealing with. But when we take a step back and see things from a different perspective, it allows for us to be able to, you know, trust and thrive in that process. Shaolin Master, be graceful. I talked about moving with grace earlier. That's crazy. Be graceful in movement and action. Yes. Wow. Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. So there are certain things about yourself that you know you're hiding. You're living. I heard living under a rock. Either you're. I'm getting 2 messages with that from what I'm hearing. Living under a rock usually means like, oh, like you're like oblivious to something or ignorant to something because you've been kind of shielded from it. But I'm also in this case picking up on like living under a rock, like you've been shielding yourself because you're not allowing people to see who you really are. Very interesting. All right, let's get one more from here, Spirit. We're going to be almost done with this reading. What we got? Fire Guardian, and we got so much fire energy throughout this reading. Ignite your passions. Yes, man. Put that fire under your ass and do the things that make you feel good about yourself and confident. Definitely getting like that page of wands. I'm not page of wands. King and Queen of Wands that we saw throughout the reading and stuff. Like, listen, you're meant to put that fire under your ass and really step into that. Mountain, stand your ground. We talked about standing your ground too. 7 of Wands energy. That shit came out more than once. So it's like, man, listen. What we got here? Earth Mother, feel loved and comforted. And this technically was in the reverse on the top of the deck. So I am kind of getting, like, sometimes you feel maybe a little bit of like a sense of neglect or something like that. But they do want you to understand that, you know, the more grounded that you allow yourself to become, and we talked about that earlier in the reading, you know, doing some grounding exercises and things like that to allow yourself to feel a little bit more, you know, stability and things like that, confidence within yourself, you know, as a whole, your stronger connection to earth. That sense of grounding is really important. We have winter here in the middle of the deck. It says take care of your needs. So you might be forgetting to, like, kind of, okay, one more from here. They say 2 to 3 cards from here. They're pulling me or drawing me to pull one more. But yes, definitely important to make sure your needs are being taken care of as well. Which is kind of coming back full circle, right? Like, if you're always doing everything for everybody else, or you're living for the expectations of other people, are you really living your truest, most authentic life and for yourself? No, you're not. You're doing everything for everyone else. That's not right. That's not fair to you. That's not a life to live. You know? Sky Father. Trust in the unknown. Have faith. We don't always know what's going to happen, right? Especially like when we're trying to take a leap of faith and do something different, something that's beyond our knowledge. You know, it's like it could get really wonky. It could get a little scary. Trader is here. Exchange energy to create abundance. It's an equal give and take, right? We have to kind of put ourselves out there to be able to receive. So, when we have faith in the unknown and allow for it to guide us into a different direction, it does allow for us to, be able to welcome in things that we've been wanting to work on and create for ourselves. Arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. You are protected. In China, you are very, very welcome. You are guided. You are protected. Allow it to happen. I just say, as you move in a new direction, you can't make it up. Traveler, move in a new direction, moving about, right? You're doing things differently. Like I was picking up on, like, I'm not getting like a physical move for everybody, but just moving in a new direction in your life in general is what I was picking up on. Very interesting. Uh, Lati, what's up, sis? Check out my girl, guys. My girl Lati from Tears and Wheat Tarot Show, where you show enough never know what you're gonna get. My road dog right there, my sister. Check her out, guys. Love her. And I don't know what's up with. I think it's the retrograde, girl. Cause like, even when I like, subscribed, unsubscribed, all that stuff, just to like see what would happen. For a little bit, I was getting everybody's notifications, and then all of a sudden, I'm not getting them anymore. So I end up having to go on Facebook, Facebook, on YouTube, actively go and say, okay, I want to look at that particular person's posts. And I'm like, God damn it. So annoying, where I get like the recommendations. And I'm like, why are you recommending to people who I already freaking subscribe to? This is some bullshit. Don't like it. So that's wonky. All right, guys. So we're gonna have some closing messages from the Messages of Closure deck. This was actually gifted to me from my Souli, Allie from the Phoenix Priestess. Check her out. Isn't it weird? Lati, I'm telling you, it's fucking strange. Because, like I told y'all already, I'm like, yo, because y'all know me, like, I'm usually one of the first people to pop up as long as I'm able to. So when I don't get the fucking notifications, it pisses me off. Because I'm like, I want to show my people support. And I don't get the fucking notifications. And then it shows up hours later, and it's like as a recommendation, like on that first little tab or whatever on YouTube. And I'm like, really? So now I have to go through all of that stuff because, like, you got all the different people that you check out or whatever, or things that they think you're gonna like, and then I might miss a fucking reading, and I'm like, damn, I want to check my people out. You know what I mean? I want to be a support. Y'all support me. I want to support y'all. Crazy. All right. So when I split the deck here, I have to pee all of a sudden. Um, it says please. Wow. So we had the winter card that says talking about taking care of your needs. It says please take care of yourself. So some of you guys might not be taking the best care of yourself, and they want you to. Please acknowledge me. So they're trying to communicate with you some kind of way, nudging you. Maybe they show up in different forms. I did just pick up on, they might show up in ways that were affecting them, because this is talking about people who've passed on. So like, let's say, God forbid, let's say like they had a heart attack. I'm not putting in this energy onto anyone or anything like that, but this is what Spirit wants me to say. This is what your guides want me to say. Their way of communicating with you, maybe to go to the doctor or something like that, might be to cause a little bit of like tightening in the chest. Like, not like you're gonna die, but like, hey, just a little nudge, go get checked out. If they have breast cancer, I just picked up on that too. Breast cancer, your breasts might feel very, very tender, and it's not your period or something like that. You might have abdominal pain or something like that, or something going on in like the womb area, and they're like, oh, you feel that cramping? Oh, go get checked out. I want to screen for different things, cervical cancer, things like that, ovarian cancer, bad headaches. Check that out too. Like, I'm picking up on these things. So If you know that you had a person who passed on from stuff, possibly like the things I just mentioned, or they had ailments very similar to that, whether they passed from it or not, like it's maybe they had those types of ailments on a regular basis, like, and you're feeling it too, that's them maybe trying to communicate with you to make sure that you're taking care of your physical body. Let me know if that resonates at all, because they definitely are trying to get some type of point across to you, and they don't feel like they're getting across to you the way that they would like to. So listen to them. All of a sudden I feel like my head going like inward like this, like a vice grip pushing my head in, like a migraine. But I'm like, it doesn't feel like a regular migraine. It feels different. I'm sure once I'm done with the reading, I won't feel like that anymore. But I did feel that just now. Yeah. If you've been having really bad migraines and stuff, and like they don't seem to be letting up, you might want to go get screened for that too. I'm picking up on. I left a piece of me in you. Could be like a gift or a talent that they have. I just saw something go floaty by my eye. That was so weird. Like it felt like it almost looked like a feather or something just went like that across my eyes. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought someone, like, I thought it was actually something in there. There's nothing in here that I just saw, but like it just like went like a little feather or something. That was weird. Um, and it was white. Like they're definitely trying to communicate as we're closing up this reading, of course. um, let's see. Yeah, go get that checked out. Just to make sure. Make sure it's not like high blood pressure, things like that. Like I have high blood pressure. Um, it could be anxiety or something like that, but nonetheless, like it's one of those things I'm picking up. Like don't take it with a grain of salt. Like go get it looked at. Because there could be a reason why they're trying to communicate this message right now. I realize how much I hurt you. That's going to be different for everybody. They could have hurt you in different ways. Not sure how or why. But especially with this, like, I left a piece of me in you. Maybe they're saying, like, you know, whatever qualms that you guys might have had, they realize, like, that's something that's been left behind, like a trauma, maybe. I regret the time we lost. I mean, yeah, that seems like it makes a lot of sense. Interesting. I also just picked up on I'm feeling pains and stuff. um I'm picking up on like flank pain, like over here. And that showed up more than once recently, but it's showing up again. You might want to get your kidneys checked out. Get your kidney levels looked at. Make sure it's not like anything going on with that. This is not meant to scare anybody, by the way. I'm just picking up on the different things I'm feeling. And there have been times where I say, hey, I feel this. And people will say, oh, no, I'm going through that right now. And I'm just like, okay, so it's not like I'm going crazy. I'm not just throwing it out there. Like, it's real. Very interesting. Yeah, all of a sudden, like, the side is really like, starting, like, from the top of, like, my flank area and moving down to, like, the small of my back on the right side. The side doesn't necessarily matter. It's just the pain itself that I'm feeling. And I'm like, ooh. Just make sure that, you know, get that looked at if it's something that's been, like, kind of ongoing. Especially if you haven't been peeing enough. If you haven't been peeing enough. Spirit wanted me to say this. If you haven't been going to the bathroom enough, get that looked into. Very specific. That's not gonna be for everybody. All right, let's get like 3 cards to close out, and that'll be it. Whew, goodness gracious. I knew that and I think Spirit like had me format this reading the way I did on purpose. They're like, oh, we're gonna start off with the easier stuff, and then we're gonna close off with the heavier shit. They always do that. Because I was like, I looked at the decks and I was like, so, you know, are we just gonna do a free for all and just pull from the decks, or are we gonna like strategically do this? And they said, we're gonna strategically do this. So they like had me format them a certain way, so I knew which cards I was gonna read from, or decks I was gonna read from, in what order and stuff. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna save this one for last. I'm like, okay, say less. Yeah, Spirit's funny like that. When they have something to say, they have something to say. We're gonna rock with it. They say you are beautiful, and we talked about body images and stuff like that. You know, how you might feel about yourself, you know, as a person as a whole, not just physically. I don't know why. Maybe they don't know why you don't feel as beautiful as you should. Please forgive yourself. I'm getting you guys beat yourself up a lot. Like, why do you look at yourself in such a negative way is what I'm picking up on. They really want you guys to see yourself in a bigger, brighter, better light is what I'm picking up on. Thank you for making amends is here. I trust you. So I'm not sure if it's with them or with like maybe a living person, and like, you know, maybe after someone passed on, you guys reconnected, like you might have reconnected with a person or something. I don't know. But you know, it's gonna be different for everyone. So only take those messages as they resonate, because these are like very specific. Like, I can only read it as far as I can feel them, and with it being multiple people watching, it's one of those things, or going to watch later even. It's one of those things where it might not make sense to me, but it might make sense on you. Even if it's just one person. Alright, let's get 2 more, Spirit. I do hope it helps somebody and resonates. I see things differently now. Yeah, somebody sees things from a whole different perspective. This is like how they're asking you to look at things from a new perspective too. They're like, look, it took all of this for me to get to this point. Please see things differently sooner rather than later. I projected my unhappiness onto you is on the bottom. Wow. See. Remember I mentioned earlier, you know, for some of you with this whole like minimizing yourselves and things like that, and not living your most authentic self. Like, or being your most authentic self, I should say. I was picking up on, you know, for some of you, it stems back as far back as childhood. And it's like, well, you know, this is how I was brought up. I have to do things this way. And they're letting you know, hey, I wish, I wish that I would have done this differently. And here I am now telling you, I'm not here anymore, but now I am telling you, I wish I would have done things differently. Shit. That's deep, man. I love you. And they have please acknowledge me here in the middle of the deck again. Let's get one more, Spirit. Exactly, yes, girl. About those daily decisions that we make. And I really hope, blessings, I hope you're feeling okay. I know you've been going through a lot of stuff, so I'm really hoping that you're about to be on the up and up very soon. Damn, this card came up, what, 3 times? 3 or 4 times now. Please acknowledge me. They really want you. They've been nudging you like a motherfucker. I wasn't thinking. Again, maybe how they did some things, how they operated, they're realizing now, like, damn, I fucked up. Now they're not here, and they're like trying to nudge you to do things differently. I'm getting like, you know, breaking generational curses even for some. Yeah, I support your path is on the bottom of the deck. Well, we have it on top. Please don't blame yourself. Middle of the deck. I will show signs and synchronicities. Now, I will say this, and I hate to put it like this, but I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be a message directly to me. For somebody, with some of these cards that have been coming out, and I really hope this isn't the case. Um, Somebody could have a passed on loved one who passed away from suicide. And they're realizing, wow, I wish I didn't do that. I wish I would have got the help that I needed and things like that, and worked on myself and so on and so forth. I see you're going down a similar path. I want to stop that now. Like, let's nip that in the bud. They're trying to support you on this path because they know that you're not meant to go that route. Seems very, very, very specific. That's not gonna be for everybody. That could be literally just for me, to be honest with you. I have two cousins who passed away that way, and they definitely show up from time to time. And it could be other people who went through something similar. Like, I know mental health issues run in my family, so on both sides, but especially on my dad's. And the two cousins who I'm referring to, they were both on the same side of the family, my dad's. Um, and it definitely could be a hereditary thing. So if any of you guys have been battling suicidal ideations, I know this is getting heavy, and it always does, but I am picking up on a message that they want you to go get, the mental health that you, and behavioral health help that you need, to make sure that you kind of can nip it in the bud now before it's too late. It's not meant to put things into your head, like to, make you, want to do something. Like, no, it's actually quite the opposite. It's to help you realize, like, you don't want to do that. They, even though they're, not here anymore, I do feel like they have regrets about what they chose to do, because they're like, yeah, I was going through some shit, wasn't in a good place, made those choices, and now, or that choice, and now I'm like, don't feel like that was the best thing, because now they're realizing, like, there were things that I could have done maybe to combat that. And it's hard because, as somebody who myself, I deal with it too. I deal with depression, clinically depressed since I was, 17, 18 years old. um I've attempted on more than one occasion, things like that. I even as of recently, I had some ideations and I had to get myself out of it. Thank God I did. But I did, like, different things that I've learned, different techniques that I've learned with my therapist and things like that to get myself out of it. But the reality is, there are a lot of us that don't do that. We haven't gotten the help that we need, and we don't want to end up in that boat. Because a lot of people who feel suicidal and stuff, or end up doing it, most of the time it's not that they want to hurt themselves. It's not really about, oh, I want to hurt myself. It's, I'm tired and I don't want to do this anymore. They don't want to feel that feeling anymore. So they're like, this is the way that I'm going to go. Very heavy topic, I know. But that's very different than just like, oh, I just want to off myself and I don't care. Like, no, it's not. It's usually not that. They actually care a lot. And they're going through those motions of feelings and cycling through that over and over. And they don't have sometimes the support that they need. Or they don't think they do. You see. So it's like, again, as somebody who has lived it, on both sides, as somebody who was on the receiving end, as somebody who lost people that way, and as somebody who has felt this way and wanted to do it. It's one of those things that, is very taboo to talk about, but I have no problem with being open on here, because clearly somebody needs to hear this. So, with all that said, I think the reading is done. We're going to close it out there. But I do hope that you guys got something from that message. I know that last part of the message was kind of, you know, hard to receive. It was also hard to deliver. Um, but and I'm grateful for you guys who are letting me know that you would like to support me on my journey. Love y'all. But yeah, I won't focus too much on myself right now. But that's for somebody. And if you're going through it too, we're all here, right? We're a collective. We're all there for each other. And we're going to help each other through these things. These things come up sometimes in the topics, and we will, you know, we're gonna get through it together. That is the goal, or at least, you know, push each other to get the help that we need, whether it's here or outside, or both. So yeah, you guys, you know, there's a lot going on in this reading. um, but that message, that last message was pretty heavy. Um, I think that's why Spirit left it for the last part. But no more shrinking yourselves, no more minimizing yourselves. You are fucking awesome. Recognize that shit within yourself. Like, don't always wait for other people to validate you. Hey, baby. Right? What do you think, Ryan? You agree? Yeah. Hi, mommy. Yeah. Don't wait for everybody else to validate you. Validate your fucking self. Big yourself up. Recognize how far you've come and who you have been becoming this far, right? On this part of the journey. Big thing. We're closing out those cycles where, you know, we've been relying on other people to tell us, oh, I'm so great. Like, recognize everything yourself. You know? Don't let your culture and background and all that, like, none of those things, society, don't let those things dictate who you are or where you believe you are. Is her, if you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. I just heard that, so that's a good song. Yeah, and I think that's a good way to close out the reading too. All right, my loves. So until next time. So tomorrow's Friday, right? I probably won't go on tomorrow. I work both my jobs tomorrow. I'm exhausted after working 12 hours, so it's probably not gonna happen tomorrow. But maybe Saturday I might see y'all. But until next time, I love you guys, and yeah, you guys take care of yourselves, and don't forget who you are and how awesome you are. Okay? That was the whole purpose of this reading. So if you came in like a little bit late when I post this up, go check out the beginning. But yes, I love y'all. Take care of yourselves though.